When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Brittany. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't outtrain her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Raise your hand if you want your nails to look perfect all the time. Me too. I'm Sarah Gibson-Tuttle from Olive & June, and this is exactly why we created the Mani System. We wanted to make it possible for everyone everywhere to give themselves a beautiful manicure at home. With our tools and our long-lasting polish, each manicure with our Mani System comes out to just $2. That's right, $2. No more $30, $40, $50 manis that you get at a salon and they take hours. Now you can paint your nails on your time and love them more than ever. And by the way, when people ask, who did your nails? Where did you get them done? You're going to proudly say, I did them myself. Get 20% off your first Mani System with code PERFECTMANI20 at oliveandjune.com/PERFECTMANI20. That's code PERFECTMANI20 for 20% off at oliveandjune.com/PERFECTMANI20.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, what the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass f- So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
A Garden State Mystery. I'm Jason Horton.
I'm Rebecca Lieb.
And this is Ghost Town.
Most people have heard of the Bermuda Triangle, an inexplicable region in the North Atlantic Ocean where ships, planes, and people seemingly just vanish. But not many people have heard of its counterpart, a place where at least 26 people have disappeared without a trace, vanishing into this region's ominous and dark waters. It's not a creepy cave, a forbidden island, or cursed haunted house. No, it's New Jersey. And today we're going to discuss its mythical and mysterious local phenomenon, the New Jersey Triangle. Jason, you're from New Jersey. Have you heard of the New Jersey Triangle?
I have not.
You have not. You're new with what we're about to discuss.
I've heard a lot about New Jersey, and people have a lot of commentary about New Jersey, historically, culturally.
Historically?
This is not on that list.
Mm-mm.
Maybe it should be, though.
You're in for a treat, I think. A treat that involves a lot of hard things.
Maybe I got lost in the New Jersey Triangle.
Maybe you're...
And who am I, really?
Right there.
Right,
yeah, exactly.
Who are you talking to?
You're going to find out. Or you won't. Kind of both, actually. The New Jersey Triangle occurs in and around the Round Valley Reservoir, located in Clinton Township, Hunterdon County, New Jersey. The reservoir is 2,350 acres, holding a staggering 55 billion gallons within it, making it the largest reservoir in the state. Its inception begins with suffering and trauma, which might be no surprise given the rest of what we are about to discuss. In 1960, the New Jersey Water Authority constructed 2 large dams and flooded a large valley, which had formerly been occupied by a safe, peaceful farming community, rich in fertile soil and other resources. The community made it clear that they did not want to be displaced by the state. But, though there were efforts to fight back, they had no choice. The Round Valley Reservoir needed to be built to meet New Jersey's growing demands for water, meaning generations of farmers would be displaced, the site of their livelihoods lost. The valley was then flooded, and the last vestiges of the town were buried under 180 feet of water. After the first few years of its construction, the reservoir's origin was forgotten, and many Jersey residents happily embraced the reservoir and the parkland around it to fish, trout, boat, hike, swim, and camp. And yet, mere days after the reservoir's opening, strange things started to happen. According to a 2020 Weird New Jersey piece by a local on the Round Valley Reservoir, many people began to drive up to the semi-secluded new reservoir and, quote, park with their sweethearts. Quote, well, within the first week of its opening, there were multiple eyewitness accounts of strange lights hovering above the reservoir. Recently, I was telling all of these strange happenings to two young boys I know. When I told them about the strange hovering lights, they got kind of weird and told me about a recent trip there one night where they spotted a strange green light hovering and bobbing above the water. At first, they thought it was a boat light, but scratched that idea when it rose higher and drifted into the trees behind them. They promptly ran until it was out of sight. In 1971, the human disappearances were rumored to have started, in addition to 6 deaths that year. Not long after, in 1973, is when the first disappearances are on historical record. On May 4th, 1973, 2 men, 23-year-old Thomas Trimblett of North Arlington and 22-year-old Christopher Zajakowski of Jersey City, were fishing from a rented 12-foot aluminum boat in the reservoir. Several hours after they went out, the boat was discovered capsized on the east side of the reservoir. A broken fishing rod and a reel were found in the boat, and 2 pristine yellow life jackets and a wooden oar were also found on the east side of the reservoir. But no bodies were ever found. Trimblett and Zajakowski were young, but they were very experienced fishermen, so the idea of these men not being able to navigate the mostly placid, lake-sized reservoir raised eyebrows. Furthermore, finding 2 intact life jackets without any bodies or body parts inside or around the area where the jackets were found left people guessing, what the hell happened to these 2 friends? The parents of the 2 drowned men eventually sued the state for negligence, but a loss resulted when, according to the New York Times, quote, the court cited various laws that blanketed the state with immunity in cases where it offers its lands to the public for such recreational purposes as fishing, camping, and swimming. In March of 1977, 2 Trenton men, 18-year-old Craig Steer and 20-year-old Andrew Fasanella, were last seen paddling their canoe along the north shoreline of the reservoir. The canoe and their camping gear were found washed ashore 4 days later, but their bodies were also never found. According to the New York Times piece about the case, divers searched part of the lake initially, but the search was called off when no trace of the men could be found. Alfred T. Guido, the head of the State Parks Department, which operates Round Valley, explained that parts of the lake are 180 feet deep and contain, quote, thermal layers, boundaries between warm and cold water. These layers might be powerful enough to keep bodies from rising to the top of the lake. Guido also said that he had become disturbed by the number of fatal mishaps on the reservoir, finally, and that their department would look into it. But of course, we know what happens when a government official says they'll look into something. Often, not much. The piece goes on to say that Joseph Fasanella, father of Andrew, tried unsuccessfully to get the state police and the Navy to search the whole bottom of the lake with a 2-man submarine or with some other device. Like the previous victim's parents, he lost the battle against the State and Parks Department. They just say no, he said. I think I have a right to my son's body. If the state is not going to help me find it, whom is? And the disappearances continued. On March 18, 1989, 2 more men, 37-year-old John Kubu and Albert Lawson, failed to return from a fishing trip in Round Valley. They were last seen fishing on the east side of the reservoir when a storm approached. Days later, their 13-foot aluminum boat and various personal items were later found on the shoreline. Months later, on October 16, 1993, Lawson's body was recovered by a fisherman's downrigger, but Kubu's body has yet to be found. According to the aforementioned Weird New Jersey piece, at this point locals believed that if one body came up, another one was going down, and soon. The author of the article goes on to say, quote, I can attest to this as one summer, 93 or 94, my sister responded to a DOA call at the reservoir. A gentleman in a boat without a motor had his anchor stuck on a large object. He requested a tow from a powerboat, and up popped a missing drowned fisherman fully clothed. His 1990 fishing license was still attached to his vest, and get this, his sunglasses were still on. Well, guess what happened next? 3 days later, 2 canoeists are paddling around together when one decides to cool off and jumps in. He jumped in and he never resurfaced. He's still missing to this day. On October 22nd, 1993, 27-year-old Jeffrey Moore and his friend Raymond Barr went fishing in a canoe near the northeast shore in clear and calm conditions, and in full view of other boaters in the vicinity. The boat began taking on water inexplicably and capsized, so one of the nearby boaters rushed to the rescue and managed to pull Barr from the water. But Moore, despite a frantic search of the area, completely disappeared. Moore's body has never been recovered, and there has never been any trace of what became of him. Over the years, there have been several attempts to delve into Round Valley Reservoir's depths in an attempt to locate the amassing number of missing people, presumed drowned, but success has proven to be elusive. In 1977, a state-of-the-art battery-powered submersible, typically used for oil rigs, was brought to the lake to look for bodies, piloted by a seasoned operator, André Galerne, who had once worked with deep-sea explorer Jacques Cousteau. As a side note, the famous Jacques Cousteau himself supposedly paid a visit to the reservoir, saying that it was, quote, one of the weirdest places he'd ever seen. In any case, after a week of exhaustive searches by Galerne, no bodies were ever found. In 1999, state troopers specializing in underwater recovery launched a meticulous hunt for bodies in the lake's depths, but they struggled. The large amount of underwater growth and submerged tree trunks, as well as the darkness down in the deeper parts of the lake, made it increasingly difficult to find anything, much less human remains. In 2006, another submarine was used to look for bodies yet again. An Associated Press article by Wayne Perry chronicled this investigation, saying, quote, Round Valley Reservoir is a watery place where people disappear, never to be seen again. The description held true Wednesday after a 4.5-hour search of the sprawling Round Valley Reservoir failed to turn up any trace of 6 missing boaters and fishermen, some of whom were last seen in 1973. A team of 30 state police, FBI, and Bergen County sheriff's officers fanned out on foot and in boats across the 180-foot-deep reservoir, looking for skeletal remains, clothing, or any signs of the missing victims, all of whom are presumed drowned. On 2 boats during the search, specifically trained cadaver-sniffing dogs were brought in to sniff for telltale gases that decaying bodies emit. The next step will be to search sections of the reservoir with a special underwater robotic camera. Despite all of these efforts and the numerous other grassroots search efforts, no additional human remains were found. Land searches using more cadaver dogs have also been conducted over the years, typically when water levels are lower than usual, and yet no bodies, pieces of bone, teeth, or scraps of clothing have ever been found in that manner either. That is, until 2013. More after this break.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Hello.
How are you doing?
How's it going? It's January.
Is it? It was January 1st?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Here we are.
Yeah. Well.
That's all.
Yeah. New Year, new you.
That's all to be said for that. Yeah, sure.
Well, as this year and every year previous, we want to say hello and thank you to anyone listening, supporting us, spreading the good word of Ghost Town.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Another year. We appreciate it.
Let's do it, because we have to.
And every year and every month and every week, we got to thank that government.
That we do. They're the only things that are keeping me going, honestly.
I mean, it's not a coincidence that we keep plodding on, trudging forward on our hands and knees.
It's no coincidence.
It's no coincidence that the government is the one keeping things together.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you something. The mayors, they're just people like us. They're just like us. They have New Year's resolutions too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Got some resis from these mayors. Yeah,
Great.
I call them resis.
Yeah, I like a resi.
Yeah.
I like to break a resi. I like to make a resi, and I like to break a resi.
This mayor has a New Year's resolution: less screen time on their phones. You know when you get the notice?
No.
You were on your phone X amount more percentage.
23.7 hours of the day, and you're like, I didn't ask for this.
This mayor is like, not anymore. I'm gonna cut it down to a solid 19 hours a day.
Nice.
Now, as long as it doesn't cut into when you're listening to Ghost Town on your phone.
Yeah, no, that doesn't count, actually.
That doesn't count.
It's no calories.
It's no
doesn't count as screen time. It's totally free.
Yeah. So Get off that phone unless you're listening to Ghost Town.
Then stay on that phone.
Our mayor, Ashley Matson.
Hello.
This mayor is like, no more spam emails. I'm done with it.
No.
I'm done with the spam. Normally it's kind of like, I should unsubscribe to this, but I'm just going to just delete it or just ignore it. No more.
Calling out into the ether. Stop it, you guys. Stop it, Target.
Something I signed up for once. I bought something once, and it's just all the time. I don't care about your promo codes. I don't need another down comforter.
No.
Leave me alone.
We're bundled.
It's Kat Roselle.
Hello.
This mayor, and I have to concur, no more 4-episode like true crime or whatever TV show episodes that could easily be 1 or 2 episodes. Get off. Come on. You're just repeating the same. I know you don't have a lot of stuff. And in our business, we're probably not the right people to be saying this. There's going to be probably a point, possibly in 2025, where we're going to say no. Check out all.
Yeah, please. Please. You want to see the same recycled picture of a victim 5 different times under different filters? Yes, you do.
In your that's your business.
Yeah,
you do that. You know, you're just like, you're just constantly reminding people, or just saying the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think people want that, but we do that.
We do that. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. This mayor is done. Just give me it all in 1 or 2 episodes, or somebody do a supercut. That's our very own, not caught in the New Jersey Triangle mayor. Kelly Meehan.
Hello.
This mayor is like, no more 5 ads per 1 post on my social media. Why do I have to see 5 ads for things that I probably said out loud once to see 1 picture of my niece or nephew? I shouldn't have to do that. It should be mostly pictures of family or friends. I want to follow what they're doing. I don't need to know what red light face mask. Maybe that's just my own algorithm. I'm projecting right now. But this mayor is like, no more. Just give me what I signed up for. I don't need all these ads. Again, unless it's for something that we're promoting in 2025.
Yeah.
That does not count. That should be a caveat.
Does not count.
That does not count.
It's all free.
That's our mayor, Casey Weber.
Hello.
This mayor, on the same the same tip. No more AI photos trying to trick me. I know that's not real. I know that isn't
a stewardess from Pan Am 1960.
Right.
That's not even a human.
Or it's like, oh, look at all these like hot military women and they all have pizzas in their hand in a barracks. There's a lot of that going around.
Incredible.
Stop being fooled by those things.
Uh-huh.
One of them has 6 fingers.
Yeah. One and the other hand is blurry.
Yeah.
It's a mitt.
Come on. This mayor's like, I'm done with it. It's Matthew Clemens LeRae.
Hello.
This mayor's like, when I turn on my Apple TV and I say the name of the show or movie I want to watch, one of the streaming services has to have it. Don't make me pay for another streaming service. I don't care if it's on Vubu or Zoomy. I don't want to hear that. It's on one of the major ones, and it's available for me. I don't want to sign up for something 7 days free. I don't want to do that. No more. Just have the movie or TV show I want to see.
Yeah.
Come on, it's The Office for crying. Maybe I'm, again, projecting. That's Marissa Rothermel.
Hello.
This mayor's like, no more crypto scams. I'm done with the crypto scams. I'm done with the hustling. I'm done with the flexing. I don't care. I don't care about, I woke up at 3:30 a.m. and took an ice bath. And now I'm rich. No more. I don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear about some alpha camp, which is a bunch of dudes talking about being men and crying.
Yeah, they all cry together shirtless. They're all old and shirtless.
Crying.
There's no young hot men at those retreats. I'll tell you that.
Crying. And, listen, cry, but don't do it on social media to promote.
No, don't make a group video crying.
Yeah. No.
Don't
Just
do it.
Do it and do it, but do it in your own home. And don't take an ice bath at 3:30 a.m. You're not going to get rich from doing that. The only people that are making money on that are people that are selling these courses.
Yeah.
And this mayor says no more. Chris Hernandez.
Hello.
And then our governor says, oh, yes, to all those things.
Oh, yes. She says, give me more.
More
I can take
ads,
it. I can
more
do it.
Ads, more scams. Everything's AI.
She just
get addicted.
She loves it. It makes her stronger.
She's just like, oh, hey, yesterday I was in Florida. Tomorrow I'm in Tokyo.
Fuck yeah.
It's just like...
It's incredible.
It's the biggest mystery.
I love it. The only thing I look forward to are her Instagram stories, if we're being honest.
I just like, where are you? And everything's like a view from behind a glass of champagne or a private jet. Can't you just look through a dirty old window once? Just look through a dirty old window of a Burger King.
No, don't do that. For me personally, don't ever do that.
You already know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Dirty old Burger King
I got
window.
my own dirty windows. I have my own gummy ass glass over here. Okay, you do your thing and let me watch.
Our governor says yes to all those things. Again, our governor,
Avian Noble.
If you want no ads, no chit chat, bonus episodes, just the good stuff. 7 days free. Head on over to patreon.com/ghosttownpod. And before we get into it, I looked up where Clinton Township is. It's probably about almost 60 miles from where I live in New Jersey, away from New York City, more towards the center of the state, going west.
Gotcha.
So yeah, was not familiar with it. Or is that someone who got caught in the New Jersey Triangle would say? What triangle?
Exactly. Well, here's a little bit more about it. So, many official searches of the Round Valley Reservoir, now known, of course, as the New Jersey Triangle, have been total failures. But a couple success stories have sparked hope in finding the missing and the dead. In 2013, 56-year-old experienced fisherman Kenneth Rohatyn went missing in a canoe a mere 20 yards from shore. Days later, a state police marine unit picked up a sonar reading and quickly sent in recovery divers to see what it had picked up. In 70 feet of water, far from where he was initially fishing, Rohatyn was found. In another case, in 2014, the body of a missing kayaker was recovered in 51 feet of water after an intense search by multiple emergency units. The man had apparently fallen from his kayak near a boat ramp, yet had failed to reach safety. A New Jersey registered car, most likely the victim's, was found abandoned in the boat ramp's parking lot. In July 2014, another body of 24-year-old kayaker Chen Xiao was found 150 yards offshore, and he had also fallen from his kayak. A witness actually saw the whole incident, claiming that the man had struggled to get back into his vessel after falling, but was somehow unable to do so and slowly drifted away. Police spent 6 hours searching for the body with sonar and other equipment before eventually they found the body of Chen Xiao. Some of the bodies of missing people were also found not by authorities engaged in active searches, but by regular people enjoying the park. In 1989, 2 amateur divers were 50 feet down in the lake when they came upon a human skeleton that was still wearing tattered clothing and green rubber boots. The body was later identified as a fisherman who had been missing since 1976. Spookily, the body of another missing fisherman who had been with the victim at the time of his disappearance was found in a similar manner 11 months later. In March of 2012, a hiker noticed a body floating in the lake and called the police. When the floating body was later recovered, it turned out to be that of a white male in his 20s or 30s. The identity and story of the man is still a mystery. In May 2012, a fisherman by the name of Edward P. Waddell Jr. was out for a relaxing day of fishing when his hook snagged something in the water. When he pulled it in, the shocked fisherman found an old boot containing the partial skeletal remains of a human foot. Police units proceeded to scour the area for more remains, but none were found. The rest of the body, of course, was never found. All of these deaths and their oftentimes dramatic discoveries, or lack thereof, have New Jersey residents theorizing about all kinds of reasons as to why so many people die and go missing in the reservoir. Some believe that the reservoir was built over sacred native burial grounds and is cursed by vengeful spirits. Others believe that some kind of lake monster has somehow made its home in the man-made reservoir, preying on fishermen. One of the very prominent legends takes us back to the beginning of this episode, to the displaced farmers who unwillingly left their homes to create the body of water. Down in the reservoir's depths, there are still remnants of the farmers' past life and the lives of generations before, cursing unlucky people who now enjoy the water. And yet there is also a natural explanation for these bizarre deaths. Round Valley Reservoir is situated in the middle of a circular valley, which is conducive to producing sudden, powerful gusts of wind that are magnified within the valley's confines, are known to reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour or more, cropping up out of nowhere to produce surprisingly large waves and torrents. Not only that, the lake's very cold temperatures, which originate from its depth and altitude, also can be deceptive as the water is ice cold even on the warmest of days, leaving anyone who falls in precious minutes to get to safety before they experienced hypothermia, unconsciousness, and then death. The cold water might also explain why bodies are never found, as cold water tends to stave off decomposition and the gases that would normally float a body to the surface. On the bottom, a corpse is also likely to become entangled in the many twisted trees and debris from the valley's past life as farmland, making them hard to spot in the already dark waters of the reservoir. Finally, the lake's circular shape also distorts perception of distance for people out on the water, giving the illusion that lakegoers are closer to shore than they really are. This might give the victims the impression that they can swim to shore, when in reality they are too far to make it in the ice-cold water. Despite the current death toll at a terrifying 26 known people, with 6 bodies still missing, people still go out there. On Christmas 2019, for example, 3 people had to be inexplicably rescued in the waist-deep mud of the partially drained Round Valley Reservoir. Undeniably beautiful, rumors persist that some evil paranormal force is at work at the Round Valley Reservoir, with many warning visitors and park-goers that enjoying the cursed lake and its dark, ominous waters is absolutely at one's own risk.
Hi, this is Freddie Wong from Dungeons & Daddies, and this episode is sponsored by Rocket Money. Blast
Houston,
off.
we have a savings.
That's right. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that empowers you to save more, spend less, and take control of your financial life. Basically, you can see all of your checking, savings, credit cards, and investments in one convenient place. You can understand your spending trends, and most importantly, you can categorize those expenses and set up a custom budget by identifying top spending categories. Listen, you want to track bank statements? It's very difficult. Use Rocket Money to help keep track of all your finances. Rocket Money has over 5 million happy members and it's saved its users over $1 billion across all of the app's premium features. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Get Rocket Money today at rocketmoney.com/all-in-one. That's rocketmoney.com/all-in-one.
There's one thing that will forever change the way you sleep, and it's the softest 100% organic cotton bedding from Boll & Branch. You'll fall asleep faster wrapped in the most luxurious comfort. You'll never sleep hot again with airy blankets, cloud-like duvets, and breathable sheets. You'll experience pure comfort on night one and feel your bedding get softer with every wash. Discover the difference with 15% off your first order at bollandbranch.com with code BUTTERY. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
We all want to see our loved ones living their best lives, but it's hard when they're struggling with drugs and alcohol. For nearly 70 years, Karen has made it possible for so many to imagine a life beyond addiction. We combine advanced neuroscience with life-changing care. Visit caron.org. Karen, where the science of treatment meets the heart of care. Now in-network with most insurances. That's caron.org.